In Acts chapter 9, we read about Saul. Have you ever noticed how Jesus speaks to him? We read these words, "But Saul, still breathing threats and murder against the disciples of the Lord," you remember he was murdering Christians, "went to the high priest and asked him for letters to the synagogues at Damascus, so that if he found any belonging to the way, he found any Christians in Damascus, men or women, he might bring them bound to Jerusalem. Now as he went on his way, he approached Damascus, and suddenly a light from heaven flashed around him." We're familiar with that. "And falling to the ground, he heard a voice saying to him, 'Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me?' And he said, 'Who are you, Lord?' And he said, 'I am Jesus, whom you are persecuting.'" In other words, from Jesus' perspective, to persecute his people, to hurt his dear ones, was to persecute and hurt him. So closely does he identify with his church. So significant is his union with his people. May this encourage our hearts today. The Lord Jesus, beloved, is jealous for us. He protects us. He has always fought for us. Just like David and Goliath, we thought about that last week, right? How David stood, he fought on behalf of God's people. He went out to go to battle with the great champion of the enemy on behalf of God's army, on behalf of God's people, and he was victorious in battle and cut off the enemy's head. Just like that, Jesus has always gone out to fight for us, conquering all of our enemies, conquering sin and death and hell and the evil one. We read from Exodus earlier, but listen to these words again and think of Christ. "And Moses said to the people, 'Fear not, stand firm, and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will work for you today. For the Egyptians whom you see today, you shall never see again. The Lord will fight for you, and you have only to be silent.' Saints, fear not. Stand firm and see the salvation of the Lord, which he has worked for you. For the sin that you see today, you shall never see again. Jesus has fought for you, and you have only to be silent. Saints, fear not. Stand firm and see the salvation of the Lord, which he has worked for you. For the death that you see today, you will never see again. Jesus has fought for you, and you have only to be silent. Saints, fear not. Stand firm and see the salvation of the Lord, which he has worked for you."
Thank you for listening. Today's reminder is from Justin Perdue, pastor of Covenant Baptist Church in Asheville, North Carolina. Everyday Grace is a listener-supported podcast. If you would like to help support our ministry, please visit theocast.org/give.